Hi, everyone, and welcome back to the podcast. Really pleased to see you. That's a lie, isn't it?
That is a lie. I was listening back to yesterday's podcast, and I am so sick and tired of myself.
You know how I feel, mate. I'm sick of you too.
I look shit.
Why are you sick of yourself?
I look shit. I sound shit.
You've always looked shit.
Just everything about it, John.
You talk shit.
I talk shit.
You got a shit hat. You got shit clothes.
Don't disrespect the badge.
Fucking vagina microphone.
Yeah, a fluffy fanny vag. So hopefully I sound better because of this fluffy vag. And hopefully I look a little bit better.
The pro route. I've got a little fucking lapel clip here. This is the genuine Lavalier Rode microphone, you know? This was not cheap.
I've got a cheap Lavalier that sounded terrible, and this sounds far better than my lapel mic. So this
sat in my fucking drawer for 5 years, unopened. Never mind unused.
But do you remember, John?
Use those Bluetooth ones we've got.
This is the Bluetooth one.
Oh, good, gotcha. Okay,
this is the Bluetooth one. Do you remember months ago? And some of our subscribers may remember as well. I said I ordered a new mic, and
this is like the water bottle.
Yeah, kind of like it's starting to look that way. A proper one, you know, a big mic, drop down, going to be a proper professional podcaster. It got delivered to my parents' home, and I don't really go to them. They tend to come to me. And every time they've come over, I've asked them, please don't forget the mic. This has happened, I reckon, 8 times now.
How far away do you live?
I do need to take responsibility. It's 25 minutes away.
How far away do you live?
It's 25 minutes away. I could pick it up myself.
Fucking hell, Connor.
But I just think, well, they're round like every other week, and I just think, just bring it with you. Like, surely you can't forget, but I have been far too lenient with them.
I'll tell you what, I'm glad my parents don't visit me every other week. You know why?
Well, they're dead. It'd be fucking terrifying.
Dead, yeah. Mum has been dead for 15, fucking hell, more. Yeah, long time.
Yeah, very long time. I'd still give her one.
Hey?
I'd still give her one.
Well, so would I, to be fair. I bet she's still complaining as well about something.
Well, her cunt can be.
Someone somewhere is having to put it with my mum fucking complaining about shit.
Her cunt is just as dry as it was 20 years ago.
I remember her telling me, and I don't know why she told me this, that it was some years ago, because she was 78 when she went. 78, 73, something like that. 78. I remember her telling me, for no reason I was ever able to fathom, completely randomly one day, she was probably in her early 70s, telling me she hadn't had sex since she was 60. And I'm thinking, Mum, why are you telling me this? I've got no desire to hear about yours and Dad's sex life. It was bad enough as a kid hearing you rutting like fucking animals in the next room from time to time.
She was hoping you'd do something about it.
Oh, can you imagine? It could have been, yeah. Fortunately, I'm fucking autistic, so I don't get hints. I mean, to be fair, you're right. Imagine, get this right. If your mum was, say, Kate Beckinsale, you'd have this awful fucking dilemma, wouldn't you? You know, I actually fancy my own mother. I would, anyway. Perhaps that's just me.
I think it's just you, because isn't it biologically like imprinted in us to not fuck our relatives?
I don't think it is. No, not really. I mean, look at the societies of Rome and Greece when it was fairly common.
Fair enough.
Imagine if she was your sister, or even better, your stepsister. Because this is a fucking truth. So I put this in an email. This is true. One of my friends, right? She's got a mate who's split up with her husband, and they're now divorced, and he's met someone else, and they got various children. So he's got his son with this woman. Sorry, he's got this son with a woman who's a friend of my friend, and his new girlfriend has got a daughter. So it's stepbrother, stepsister. He's only gone and got her fucking pregnant. He's impregnated the stepsister. Now, can you imagine how awkward it's going to be at Christmas when she's probably either just dropped or about to drop, and you're fucking Yorkshire puddings, anyone? It's wine. Oh no, you're not drinking because you're pregnant, are you? Aren't you? Glaring at your fucking son, you know. Imagine the fucking fallout from that one. I mean, there's no good ending to that, is there? There's no good ending.
There's no good ending, but someone needs to buy that man a pint Fair fucking play.
Well, yeah, I mean, if you're going to fuck up, go large.
Yeah.
Don't just get a bird pregnant. Make sure it's your stepsister. Anyway, speaking of fucking up. As you know, we talked about it yesterday, my fucking shenanigans with the local council.
We did.
Right. So I did that fucking attack dog page yesterday.
Yeah.
I've shared with a list one day. And anyway, it got me thinking about the fucking incompetence of government. So I remembered a few weeks back, they've appointed in the UK, haven't they, some fucking hard times czar or something. Someone whose job it is to get people through the hard times. The best fucking idea they could come up with was everyone should cut their prices. Instead of spending your advertising and marketing budget on marketing and advertising, spend it on price cuts. What a fucking stupid idea. I mean, I cannot think of many things worse. There is just so much wrong with it. And the worst of it is, right, I bet they're not taking a pay cut, these politicians, or cutting their expense accounts.
No.
Or any of their fucking perks of the job.
But John,
or they're not reducing taxes, are they?
No. Do you know what they have done?
Tell me.
They've hired... At the very beginning, you said it. They have hired a hard time czar.
Yeah, okay, fair comment.
They've increased their own spending, and they tell everyone else to decrease theirs. You fucking bunch of cunts. Politicians with their capped 80 grand a year salaries, respectable, fair enough. You know, you're not going to set the world alight with that, but you're doing. The average household income 60. Yeah, the average household dual income is 60 grand a year. So fair enough, you're doing better than that on your ones. But these crafty bastards, their expense accounts. My word, do I enjoy reading through their expense accounts and just getting angry.
Karen.
Yeah, we have really become a pair of Karens, John. I'm worried for us.
I remember my daughter Rosie saying to me, "Dad, how do we know we're not stupid and it's not everyone and everyone else is okay and we're the stupid ones?" Mm-hmm. And I said because it's not just one thing. It's like evolution. There's loads of different signposts all pointing the same way. But sometimes I have to ask myself, is it me? Because I cannot be the only one who sees the absurdity of government and local government and realise. I mean, go back to 2015. The digital VAT on downloads and books and things. The fucking mess they made of that. Whoever designed that system. So you sell something in Ireland to someone in Europe, and you have to first figure out and then calculate what the VAT is on that in the country where it's being consumed, and then pay that to the government of the country where it's being consumed. And you have to have proof. I think it's 2 or 3 pieces of evidence to support your claim. Who ever thought of that one? Seriously. Who dreamed that fucker up? It wasn't me. I'll tell you what, it was a politician. It was not a business owner. It was a fucking politician.
Oh, yeah, someone with no skin.
They really are.
No skin in the game. I say to Tamsin often.
And worse, no accountability.
Oh, of course there's no accountability.
The worst that happens to a politician or a teacher or a social worker, or someone like that who really, unless they actually go to prison, it might be different, or police officers. If they fuck up big time, what happens? They get to retire and get a fucking big pension. They just get, there's no real fucking, and that's the worst of the worst. There's no real consequence. So if they fucked up this road malarkey, they fixed 3/4 of a mile, about a kilometre, of a road which is effectively disused. 15 man days, and they won't fix one which is 262 yards and requires just 3 men for 1 day. All right? They won't do that. They're fucked up big time. There'll be no consequence for it.
Of course there won't be.
No one's head will roll. No one will have to pay any kind of reparations. And I'll be left with the shitty road.
You will be left with the shitty road.
And I pay. The guy says on the phone, he says, we've got a scheme where you can, what do they call it? Community involvement. You can actually contribute towards it, and then we'll do it for like 10%. And I laughed, and he says, I can tell you're not impressed by that. I says, well, that's because I do contribute to it. I pay my taxes. That's what I pay tax for, isn't it? And I said to him, I'm not angry with you. It's not your fault. Your hands are tied. You're just the chief engineer locally. but it's the incompetent people who set your budgets and the rules within which you have to spend it.
Yeah, it's
anyway. So yeah, they're telling people to cut their prices now. People might hear me and be thinking, well, we've got to spend the marketing budget anyway, so spend it on discounts and help people, or spend it on marketing at the original or even raised prices to better clients. I'm still spending the money. What's the difference? I'll tell you what the difference is. Your profits will fucking plummet. Cutting your prices, I mean, I said it yesterday, cutting your prices immediately affects your margins, and your profits are ultimately determined by your margins. There's no question about this. That's a hard fact. It's a tangible fact. You can fucking see the numbers. You can write them down. You can make them out in a bit of metalwork and heat them up the red heat and then print your head with it, you know? But then there's the intangibles, the things that you might not think about, such as low prices attract low price buyers. Low price buyers are the worst people on earth. Kevin and fucking Tracy down the local pub, you know, who can't afford to feed their kids fucking decent food at dinner time and pay school dinner fees, but they've got iPhones and fucking satellite TV and a brand new fucking car on the driveway. You know, life choices are not their strong point. So you get the worst kind of fucking clients.
The meat raffle market. The meat raffle.
Yeah, you get
the meat raffle
and the
market.
competition. I mean, when people say, I mean, not like you must have seen this yourself. I've seen it on TV. I've seen it in the newspapers. I've seen it on websites. We will not be beaten on price.
Yes.
That is it. That is the best thing you can say about your business. I am willing to work for less money than anyone else. That's it. That's my USP.
Yeah.
How shitty is that? Fucking hell.
The common and stupid rebuttal we get is, well, that's what the big players do in our market. That's what the big boys are doing. They have their big, massive fucking units, and, you know, plastered on the front is will match or beat any quote. Most likely, if you're listening to this, you do not own one of these big, massive companies such as Wren Kitchens. Almost very likely we don't target you. So for you, you likely have less than 20 employees, and you think the way you're going to get ahead of these big companies is to try beating them on price when they have economy of scale. At the very least, they have economies of scales to beat you upon.
Yeah, I mean, if they might, their margins can be like razor thin, and they can still make a lot of money because they're doing so much volume. It's a shit business model, and this is why even big firms go out of business. Yeah. Eastman Kodak, I think Hertz car rental went out of business. Many a big airline has gone out of business. I mean, the airline industry, the margins are razor thin. So, you know, just being a big company does not mean to say they are bulletproof. But the fact is, if you try to go head-to-head, say, on stationery supplies or anything you can get on Amazon, trying to match Amazon's prices, you're fucking insane. They've got massively deep pockets, and they cross-subsidize their retail side with their fucking technology infrastructure side, which is where they make their money. I mean, people don't tend to realize this, but all Google's cloud stuff and Amazon's cloud stuff, obviously, and Dropbox and a lot of the other big players, all their cloud infrastructure is hosted by Amazon S3.
Yeah.
Well, you're talking of, they will be, I pay, I think, like $5 a month for my Amazon S3 storage. Google will probably be paying, I don't know, hundreds of millions, possibly billions a year in storage fees. I don't know. They'll get discounts. But the fact is,
outside the realm of possibility, is it?
Amazon will be making billions of dollars a year from their infrastructure side and cross-subsidizing their retail side with that. That's just what happens. If you think you can match Amazon in terms of price, delivery, and all that kind of shit, you are fucking sadly a choice.
Yeah,
convenience, all those things. You are fucking sadly deluded.
Even their customer service ain't bad.
No, I've heard some horror stories, but you will get outliers, I guess. But I've had, and mine could be an outlier. But at the times I've dealt with Amazon, they've always been fucking brilliant. Remember when my Apple headphones started making that awful noise?
That crackling.
Yeah. And I got in touch with them, and they just, I suspect it was a thing, because they just said, send them back, give you a full refund. And it was months and months afterwards. There was no arguing or quibbling at all. I got a full refund. I got my Sony's.
not even their product, and they gave better customer service than Apple, because Apple wouldn't give full refunds. They were just doing full repairs or replacements. But Amazon were just like, yeah, we'll fully refund you, no issue.
It was, but honestly, I was somewhat taken aback by it. So I was expecting a bit of pushback, got none. And it's brilliant. So you're trying to compete with Amazon. Now, what you can compete with Amazon on is customer service, in the sense that, I'll give you a good example. It's not actually with Amazon, but it's the same principle. When I used to live in Ipswich, there was Sainsbury's, and there was Tesco's, and then there was later on there was a Morrison's just down the road. There was a Safeway within 20 miles. There were some fucking big supermarkets, Asda, big supermarket, all the big chains, and there were at least 3 Sainsbury's and 4 big Tesco's. Now, there was a superstore, then there were the slightly bigger ones, plus the metros in the town. So it was well catered for. And you'd think any food shop is fucked, because you can't compete. But just opposite each of these little arcades, there were 2 shops. There was a cheese shop, and there was a place called Proctor's Sausages. Now, they didn't just do sausages, it was a deli. But these 2 places were thriving. And why were they thriving? Because they had a depth of knowledge and the esoteric stuff like Cornish yard cheese, which Sainsbury's and Tesco, they cannot match. No matter how good they are, they cannot match that level of speciality. Yeah. Well, these places were thriving. Well, it's the same with Amazon. If you're selling, I don't know, clothes, records, books, whatever, you can compete with Amazon, but you have to get smart about it. And it's not by cutting prices. There's a place in Scotland, I can't remember what it's called. There's an entire town or village in Scotland which has basically gone all in on book festivals. They can compete with Amazon because Amazon can't give you book festivals. The entire town economy now revolves around this fucking yearly book festival. And they've got loads of bookshops, and they do, it saved the little town, basically. It's like something out of a Radio 4 play.
Yeah, but that's really cute.
It is possible. In the same way as we can compete with, say, people like Dan Kennedy. They've just launched their Diamond Inner Circle, haven't they? $297. And their budgets will be huge, Russell Brunson. And they're giving away $62,000 worth of bonuses. Nah, that's too much. That goes beyond the realms of credibility, and that means they will be attracting BizOps people. So the challenges Dan spoke to me of about acquisition and retention on my day with Dan, I think Russell's just made them probably worse, to be honest, because they're going to get awful churn. Because I'm thinking it's probably worth us forking out $297 just to get those bonuses and then leaving.
That's exactly what I thought.
Because there's bound to be something in there worth listening to.
I do think he's tried to rescue that, and I'll have to read it again though, because I think you only get to choose, and it's still worth it at this point, but I think you only get to choose 3 videos to initially unlock, but it's not very clear what happens after that if you then gain access to everything. Because even if you gain access to everything, well, then it's worth 600 quid.
It's got to be. It's got to be. I mean, anything Dan's done is worth listening to. I'll have a proper look later. But the point is, we are competing with people like Dan Kennedy, but we're not going. I like to think of it a bit like jiu-jitsu. Now, I don't know if any of the listeners are familiar with jiu-jitsu. It's not like karate or boxing, which is full on in a head-to-head, strongest, probably most skillful guy wins.
Yeah.
Yeah, and generally speaking, a big boxer will beat a little one because he's got a longer reach and a heavier punch. I know there are exceptions, but that's generally the way it goes. It's not MMA. Jiu-jitsu is far more about the harder your opponent tries to hit you, the harder he falls, because you use their own attack and momentum against them. That's what you've got to do with people like Dan Kennedy, our competitors. I respect and like Dan immensely, but he's still a competitor. But we have the advantage of being smaller, faster, and more esoteric in what we do. Mm-hmm. And we've got smaller overheads. Well, you want to compete with Amazon or any big competitor like Wren Kitchens, you ain't going to compete on price, so you've got to beat them with something else. So things like prestige, convenience, attention to detail, rapidity of service, all those things, but not fucking price.
Mm. Yeah. Look, price is firmly at the bottom of the list on things you should try and compete on.
Yeah, I mean, people might say, well, you give discounts on things. Yes, we do. Absolutely. When people sign up to, say, buy the book, they're offered an upsell and bumps at a substantial discount on what they would have to pay if they wanted to buy those once they get into the inner circle or into the member area. Absolutely. But we're not that strategic. We do that for a reason I'm not going to go into here. But it has nothing to do with desperation. At this point, they've already agreed to buy something from us. So anything we can sell those products for is a profit. And that profit goes to basically fund our marketing operation. So it's a strategic, well-considered, thought-out discount, not a knee-jerk thing. It's the only thing we've got to sell on.
And our model's different as well, because these things...
It is, yeah. But I mean, my point is we are not giving discounts to get business.
Yes, absolutely.
At that point, we've got business. We've already got it.
Mm-hmm. Strategy and tactics, don't conflate the two, and don't blindly copy as well. So
you don't copy
kind of back to the beginning. Well, not even us. I'm thinking of these kitchen and bathroom guys.
Oh God, yes.
And other freelancers who see something and then just blindly copy it, such as "will match any quote." You don't understand why they're doing that. They could be doing it to get you to do it, to put you out of business.
Well, therein lies a story. I think it may be Joe Polish. I could be wrong on that. I know one of the guys who was big in that cleaning game, every now and again he would run a full page ad in a magazine costing him like $14,000, knowing full well it would bomb. Because what would happen is his competitors who would try and rip him off, they'd all do the same a couple of months later, and they'd lose all their money. It's tragic. Mm-hmm. This is one of the gripes I have with NLP, neuro-linguistic programming. They talk about modeling. People say, look at what people like Richard Branson do and Donald Trump. No. That's what Richard Branson and Donald Trump do now when they are billionaires.
Yeah.
If you want to model Richard Branson, do what Richard Branson did when he was a struggling oik with a record shop and a fucking shitty van. Well, don't copy him stealing VAT and smuggling records. That's a bad idea because you might end up in prison. But, look to see what these people did when they weren't successful or before they made their money. Trying to emulate a big business now with a small business budget is fucking tragic. It's not going to work. And of course, this is one reason I would be very reluctant to work with a large business. I mean, a business with a separate marketing department, which is divorced from the operational side and the sales side, it'd be a big red flag for me, because what they do is they're given a budget. It doesn't matter how they spend it. There's no accountability. If they don't spend their budget, they don't get one next year. So they're happy to throw it away. And it's almost like there's no connection between what we do in the market, what we put into sales, and what we get in the bottom line. It's almost and they actually argue with each other. It's fiefdom. They fucking fight about it. Not my responsibility. That's not us. That's sales. I mean, for fuck's sake, how stupid is that? You are on the same team, and you really are in the same boat here.
If when I was prolific on social media, it was very apparent because I ended up on the side of LinkedIn, TikTok, Twitter, where it was like sales bros, and they were essentially being caricature of themselves, and it was rather entertaining. However, it was very obvious that they all worked in big companies and they were actual salespeople, and all of the salespeople hated the marketing people, and the marketing people hated the salespeople. They didn't get on. They had different ideas about what should be done, how it should be done. When the only thing that fucking matters is profit. Is this advert giving our salespeople the opportunity to make a nice, tidy profit?
It's like Gary Halbert said, isn't it? If success is measured as 199.9 of that is fucking selling something.
Yeah.
Anyway, I have to go. I've got another call, so you've got the gym. Don't forget to ask your man that question.
I won't. Wait. So the moral of the story, guys, is that you can't rely on the government to help you because they're spending their money on czars that suggest that you cut your prices. You cannot turn to look at what the big companies are going to do, because there is a recession coming because you will not understand what they're doing, and often they're stupid. They often are stupid. I know it's hard to believe, but take it from us who have been in this game a long time. It's remarkable how stupid big business can be. Remarkable.
Oh, fucking frightening.
So if you want to set yourself up for the best of success, if you don't have the book, go to wealthheadfreelancer.com and get yourself a copy. Doesn't matter if you're not a freelancer, get yourself a copy. If you've already got yourself a copy of the book, this month's training is all about pricing. So
how to price specifically. 7 ways to raise your prices without losing customers or business, except the business you want to lose or the clients you want to use, because they're a pain in the fucking scrotum.
And as always, we try and make that one training as valuable as paying off your whole year's dues. So if you paid the year's dues and you got that one thing, it'd have been worth it. Anyway, we've got to go. Much love. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.